Hello everyone! So today I'm finally going to tell you what I've been reading recently. So the last time I made one of these was August, I think. It's now November, so it's been a while. Honestly, haven't read too much. I think I'm still in like reading slump mode, so I'm not reading as much as I should or really as much as I would like to. I think I'm also having a problem of finding something that I really like. There are some things in here that I really liked. It's just like everything that I'm trying to get through right now is just like I'm not super feeling it, but I want to finish them, so I don't know what to do. But anyway, it's not about what I'm reading now. It is about what I have read. This is everything that I read from August to November, something like that. So first up, I read 2 audiobooks. I signed up for Scribd because there were some audiobooks that I wanted to read, but I couldn't find anything that I wanted to read on my library app, so I just got Scribd for a bit. Trying that out, it's pretty good. It pretty much has everything that I want. So the first of which is Sadie, and I've completely forgot the author. It is up on the screen, but Sadie is a hugely hyped book with good reason. It's very good, and it's essentially about this girl who her sister is murdered and so her sister goes to kind of find out what happened because the police can't figure it out, so the sister decides to take it upon herself. The cool thing about this is that it is half regular novel and half podcast storytelling way. The podcast Serial, it's pretty much like that. Really enjoyed this book, the audiobook. I think really the way to listen to this book or to read this book is through the audiobook, because otherwise I feel like I wouldn't get the same effect from just reading it, especially the podcast portions, that I did through listening to it. So highly recommend listening to the audiobook. Honestly, I have been craving another podcast like Serial. It's been a long time since there was a new series from Serial, and so I really enjoy the podcast portions of Sadie. I think I liked that more than I liked the regular story part, the part that's from Sadie's point of view. I liked the podcast portion more. Specifically, I think because I like that type of storytelling, and I've just been craving something like it for so long. I think I gave Sadie 4 out of 5 stars. It was a very good. The next book that I read on audiobook, I actually own a physical copy of it, but it is Our Dark Duet by Victoria Schwab. So this is the sequel and the last book in the Monsters of Verity trilogy. The first book is The Savage Song. This series is just okay. I think I gave this 3 out of 4 stars. I mean, some things my fault because it's been a long time since I've read This Savage Song and didn't really do any sort of refresher after I picked up Our Dark Duet. I was a little bit lost in the beginning just because I didn't do any sort of refresh or any sort of reread on what happened in the first book. Still, I think this book was just kind of okay. I don't think this definitely isn't Victoria Schwab's most strongest series. It's kind of average, I guess. In the beginning of this book, you're introduced to a group of friends that I thought was going to be featured prominently throughout this book, but they weren't. It's they were in the first few chapters and then just gone, which was a little bit disappointing because I kind of liked the group dynamic and wanted a few more characters and kind of or outside characters. I don't know. I just felt what was that beginning part for if we weren't going to use any of those people that were developed pretty well. I wanted to know more about them, and then we never did. So yeah, but yeah, this series is just kind of average. I give it 3 out of 4 stars. 3 out of 5 stars. Next up, I read some manga. I read volume 11 of Waiting for Spring, and this is by Anishin. And I love this manga series. It's probably one of my top 5 favorite manga series of all time. I have a whole video where I basically just yell about how much I love it. And this volume was really good. I think this is actually towards the end. I think there's only 13 volumes of this. So This volume features a lot of basketball action, which I really liked. I really liked the basketball aspects of this manga series, and we get some people making some decisions and maybe confessing some things, and I'm very, very happy about it. So I really can't wait to go see or to see what else happens. I think the next volume comes out like literally the last day of the year, so yeah, cannot wait for the next of it. Also, the cover on this is really nice. Like the front with like Mitsuki and Aya pretty good, but the back is so good. Like I love this. So like reminds me of my favorite idol group, News. It's the hair colors. Next up, I read the last 3 volumes, volumes 6, 7, 8 of Honey So Sweet by Amu Meguro, and this is the fluffiest manga series I have ever read. It's so adorable. It's so like, I would call it sickeningly sweet, but you don't feel sick, your heart just feels warmed. Just a really, really cute short shoujo series, and like if you love shoujo manga, like definitely read this because your heart will be warmed. I think the thing that I really like about this series is just like how like gentle and like fluffy it is. Like it does have a lot of like stereotypes of shoujo manga, but I just feel like the characters and the personalities of the main couple are just like so endearing, and the art is really like light and like floaty and fluffy that it just like, I feel like it really stands out. And you know, it doesn't, since it is a really short series, it doesn't like draw out any plot lines. I feel like there are some like stereotypical like plot lines in here that I feel like if they were in a longer series they would be drawn out like way too long, but I feel like every sort of like story arc or character arc really like, I don't want to say runs its course, but it really kind of, it gets to the point. There's no like extra fluff going on in the storylines of this series. So yeah, definitely recommend Honey So Sweet. I feel like I gave every volume of this 5 stars. I love it so much. I think I'm definitely going to be doing a whole video reviewing Honey So Sweet, so definitely look out for that. Next up, I read the last bit of manga that I read was volumes 1 through 3 of Fruits Baskets, and this is by Natsuki Takaya. And so there's actually a whole like vlog and like video about reading these 3, so you can definitely go check that out. And essentially, just to kind of sum up, essentially when I was younger I was like really against Fruits Baskets for some reason. Like I was like, ooh, I don't like Fruits Baskets, and I have no idea why, because I never seen the anime and I never read it, so I don't know why I like said I hated it or whatever, or didn't like it. Maybe because I thought that Cardcaptor Sakura was the superior shoujo manga. It is, but like I was like not open to trying it or something like that. If you don't know what Fruits Baskets is, it's essentially about this girl who loses everybody in her family, and then she is taken in by the Soma family. It's kind of like, they're just like a bunch of relatives who live together, and they have a magical secret. If they are hugged by a member of the opposite sex, they turn into one of the animals of the Chinese zodiac. It's this girl, this normal girl, kind of like navigating her relationships with this family and the members of this family, especially the 2 high school boys, and her also finding out the secrets of their family, because there are many. So read the first 3 volumes, really glad that I read the first 3, because 3 is where it really gets interesting. Definitely looking for a sale on Yen Press manga, because these boys are expensive. If you want more like in-depth thoughts on Fruits Baskets, definitely check out my video on it. So next we have like physical books. There's 1 graphic novel and 3 novels. The first 2 are Blue Lily Lily Blue and The Raven King by Maggie Stiefvater. These are the last 2 books in the Raven cycle, and oh my god, I love this series so much. It's so good. Alright, so I am planning a video on this. I need to sit down and go through my books, and I have all of these thoughts written down, but I absolutely adore this series. I had a feeling I was gonna love it before I started reading it, and I'm happy to say that I was very right, and I love this series so much. I love all these characters, I love the magic, I love the setting, I love everything about it. It's definitely a series that people either really love or they like do not care for at all, and I'm happy to say I'm on the side of people who love it. I do feel like maybe the ending of this was a little bit less unfulfilling or less fulfilling than I wanted it to be. There are a few things that I wanted to see maybe a little bit more. I wanted a little bit more from Gansey and a little bit more from Blue. I feel like towards the end of the series it's all about Adam and Ronan, which is like fine, that's fine, but I just love Gansey so much. But really it is like their magic that like propels the whole thing, so you know. Yeah, I really love this series. It's definitely a series that isn't focused so much on action, but more on like characters and how the situation changes the characters like as people. There's like an immense amount of growth going on in this series. Like the characters in the first book are like unrecognizable from who they become in the last book. So it's great. Expect a video sometime soon. Before the end of the year, I need to like get some wine and yell about the Raven Cycle for like half an hour. Next, I read a graphic novel, and I read Pumpkinheads by Faith Erin Hicks and Rainbow Rowell. So Rainbow Rowell is one of my favorite authors ever, and so I definitely had to pick this up. This is just a cute story about like friends who work in a pumpkin patch, and it's like their last day there. And it's like more of like, it's like a fall festival type of farm harvest festival type of thing. So this was super cute, and it brought back a lot of like memories for me, because as a kid we would always go, me and my family would always go pick pumpkins at a place that was sort of like this. Of course it wasn't like as elaborate as the place in this story, but definitely had the same kind of feeling. Like, and then recently, like after I finished this, I like went back to that farm with my family after very many years, and it was really fun and nostalgic, so I felt like I had some sort of like personal connection to this, and it was also really cute. Rainbow Rowell's storytelling is super adorable, and Faith Erin Hicks' like art is just really cute. Very glad that I read this. It's very like cute, fun, fast, like autumnal October read. And the last book that I read was Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell. This is a sequel to Carry On, and which is also based off of my favorite Rainbow Rowell book, Fangirl. This is sort of a continuation from the story in Carry On. It's kind of like what happens after they defeat the big bad. Really, the thing that I love about this series is that the like kind of discussion that Rainbow Rowell has about Chosen One stories, and it feels like Carry On kind of feels like a parody of like Harry Potter or something like that, but I feel like it's like a commentary on that type of story, and just like you think of Harry Potter because that is like the most popular. But I really like that she explored what happens after the evil is defeated. Basically, Simon and Baz and Penny go on a adventure or a road trip across the US, and there are things that get like revealed or discussed, or they run into lots of different things. Carry On, it was spawned from the idea of fanfiction in Fangirl. Like, Carry On, people make this mistake, but Carry On is not the fanfiction that Kath is writing in Fangirl. It's it's like Rainbow Rowell like created those characters for that fanfiction, and then she took them and created her own story using them. It has similar elements to what Kath is writing, but it is not the fanfiction that Kath is writing. Carry On was born of like fanfiction essentially, and I feel like Wayward Son is a lot like what somebody would write for fanfiction. you know, because the reason fanfiction is there is to, like, it's so that fans, or that we can explore the characters past what we see on the page or on the screen, or whatever. But it's us adding missing moments, or moments that come after or before the story that we are given, the canonical story. And so this feels like, not that it reads like fanfiction, but it has the spirit of what a fanfiction would be. You know, Carry On is the, like, canon story, and then Wayward Son is like the fanfiction, the what comes next, or the I need more, so I'm just gonna write it myself type of thing. That's the, like, the feeling that I get from this book. Not that it reads like fanfiction, and not that fanfiction is bad, but I like the kind of, like, thing, it feels like it's inspired by it, you know, and it is part of the actual canon. So yeah, Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell, like, amazing, 5 stars, beautiful. And also there's gonna be another one, like, I read it, I got to the end of it, and at the end of it you can, like, be like, oh shoot, there's gonna be more of this, which was really, really exciting. And finally got that confirmation like a few hours after I finished the book. Also, this was like a book that I read in like a day, and it's been a long time since I've done that, so I'm really, really glad that Rainbow Rowell can still, like, pull me in and give me that experience of finishing a book in a day, because it's not something that happens very often for me anymore. Also, last thing about this book is that it's beautiful. So I got the Barnes & Noble special edition for it, which is, like, amazing, and it has great end pages, and just, like, it's so pretty. And I essentially got this one because I was like, I'll probably get the regular edition, like, later, and I can get that from anywhere. I felt like the regular version of it would be a little more available at a later date rather than a special edition, so I got the special edition. So yeah, that is it. As for what I am currently reading, I'm in the middle of 3 books right now. I'm in the middle of A Conjuring of Light by V. Schwab, A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness, I think, and The Diviners by Libba Ray. The Diviners I am reading on audiobook, and I am loving it. It's so good. And then the other 2 are the 2 books that I am struggling to finish, so cool. So let me know in the comments what you have read recently. I'd be interested to know. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more bookish and nerdy content from me. That is all I've got for you guys today. I'm Chrissy Lou. Till next time, matane!